Hello, all you hardcores out there. How are you doing? It's Russ here from Porky's Corner, the biggest gob in sport. We say the things on here that nobody dare say. Isn't that right, Sam Jones? First of all, I want to thank everybody for liking and subscribing and sharing the videos on your social medias, your WhatsApps. I made a mistake yesterday. I said that Kevin's horse Squealer that he sold, that ran in Bahrain, they flew it over there for free, these Saudis. It came second actually, but 30 grand prize money, you're winning anyway, aren't you? Right? So, but it's sold anyway, but it comes second, not first. I won't want to get anything wrong. But anyway, the Gad, he's piped up again. He's talking to Gary Stretch in London yesterday, and he's coming out with things like, "Hi, Gary Stretch, you're still the best looking man on the planet, or one of the best looking men on the planet. You utter freako. Freak. That's all I'm going to say. Did you ask him if he wanted to have a shower with your Gad? Pop, pop, bang on that one. Julians decided to take a break from boxing. I don't blame him sometimes when you're as passionate as Julian and you've trained fighters at the highest level and people still want him to train fighters at the highest level, I can assure you. And if I were to tell you the fighters that have been in touch with him in the last couple of years, your eyes would pop out. But he's got a very good job, hasn't he? And very passionate, but he's got morals and it looks like he's taking a break. So but he can come back on here anytime. He's still my pal. Probably going to do some training with him later on this week. We'll save that one. Oh my God. So I hope Julian's all right. It happens, doesn't it? Sometimes people, they get disillusioned with the sport, don't they? I know what they're looking for. Ha ha ha. Bring your own. You know what I mean? Bring your own. Use that tracing paper we used to use in infant school in the 70s. You know, that just slides off your arsehole. Hey, typical Labour government, wasn't it? Right. So it's a bit frustrating, I think, for Julian, and maybe he's disillusioned with the sport. I know I get like that every day, but then I get up and I bite down on my gum shield or my kitchen sink teeth. And we go again, don't we? You know, when you're a 2-year-old, you fall down. What does a 2-year-old baby do? Gets back up, doesn't he? But sometimes you can keep getting back up in the sport of boxing, and eventually you just said, you know what? You know, the narratives that are being put out now, it's the same old, isn't it? It's the same old. But I hope Julian comes back after he's had a little bit of a break and cleared his head. But we've got Chris Burns on tonight. Chris Burns is coming on at 7 o'clock. That will be out at 8 o'clock tonight. Okie dokie, 8 o'clock. It's on at 7:40, 20-minute upload. All right, so he'll be on it tonight. That'll be out tonight at 8, and you've got this one today as well. So it's all good. I think that's 50 videos, isn't it, now this month? When this has gone out. And what we on today? Look, 16 times 3, what's that, 48? We're consistent, if anything. Right. Colin Hart. You know that Brick Tops PR guy with a bad wig. He's coming out saying that Usyk beats Fury. And he's a brick top man. Now, he'd have to say that though, wouldn't he? Do you know why? to sell the fight. Cause a bit of controversy. A bit like Johnny Nelson when he said Carlos Takam, he can see how he beats Joshua. He's like George Foreman and Holyfield rolled into one. Your words. Oh, horsecock. Hey, I'll pray for any bird that goes with Johnny. Okay, so Colin Hart, a Bricktop diehard trying to hype it up. Why come out and do that when all your life, all you've ever done while you've been working with Bricktop is back every Bricktop fighter? Now all of a sudden you're going against the grain in the biggest fight ever because they want to be controversial. He's only doing what Johnny Horsecock used to do at Sky. You know, or Eddie Hills. You know what, Coogan? I've got a squeaky bum here. I can see Eric Molina beating Joshua. I've just seen him on the pads. Yeah, and I've seen him on the pads before. Wilder, and he's worse than me. It is what it is, isn't it? So, it is what it is. So, what can you do? So, we've got Usyk Fury. I'm going to go Usyk to win that. And we've got Ngannou Joshua. I've got Joshua to win that. Is it going to be Joshua? And Usyk in a trilogy for undisputed. So basically, Joshua's 2 fights from being undisputed champion, isn't he? He's got to do Ngannou and then Fury or Usyk. Joshua's there for money. If he takes his licks, they're still going to be hanging out the back of the Saudis. That's just how it is. No morals. What about legacy? Legacy, legacy, legacy. We're not hearing about legacy. We're hearing about pound notes. But what I want to know is this. Are Bricktop and Eddie Hills going to work together in the UK? What's happening with UK boxing now? Where's the big fights? Where? Where's the small hall fights? There's not many of them going on, is there? There's no middle ground now, is there? Why? Because everybody's sold the souls, haven't they? They've sold their souls. It is what it is, isn't it? So far this year, we've had 2 fighters, decorated fighters. Sonny Edwards, who were in my pound for pound top 15. And I want him to fight Bam Bam Rodriguez again. I don't want to hear about beef with Anthony Fowler and things like that. I want him to fight Bam Bam Rodriguez again and put that right. That's what roadmen do, don't they? They put it right. That's what I want to see. Like the Cobra. He put the Kessler one right, didn't he? He wanted to put the Andre Ward one right. But Andre Ward didn't have a passport, did he? Unless you paid him thousands and thousands and a first-class ticket to come over and be a pundit. He didn't want to come to the UK and fight. Another Mayweather. They want it all their own way. But they call themselves world champions, but they've got no passport. American champions. Everybody shouldn't have to go to them. The Cobra went to USA. Ward should have come over here. Sonny Edwards went to America. Bam Bam Rodriguez should come to UK. Why don't Eddie Hills put the money up and back Sonny Edwards in the rematch? Why isn't Sonny Edwards calling out Bam Bam Rodriguez for a rematch in the UK? Didn't he lose his title to him? Want there a rematch clause? Who's advising this young kid? Well, he's not a young kid no more. He's been around blocks, Sonny, hasn't he? He knows the game, but I don't want to hear about beef, Sonny. Intense beef about Anthony Fowler's company house accounts or how much money he's earning or what car he's buying. Get that out of your head. Get focused on Bam Bam Rodriguez rematch. Do it roadman style and go out there again. You've got to rematch him. You can't have that in your head for the rest of your life. No, rematch him and correct it. That's what roadmen do. You want to slink around saying you're a bad man? Go deal with him. You mind all this Twitter bullshit? Go and deal with Bam Bam. You've got the skills to do it. You just had a bad night at the office. You know, you were a world champion. Or was you gifted a world title through hand-picked opponents? No, I think you're multi-skilled. I want to see you take care of Bam Bam. Or why don't your brother take care of him? He would. Why can't he be given the opportunity to get stuck into that Bam Bam? Eddie could sell that. He's beat one brother. Can he beat the other? Why not? The great fights there. That Charlie, Sonny and Bam Bam. If you throw somebody else into it, means you could have a few little round robins. Let's get behind the little fellas. It is what it is. Well, Sonny's been beat this year in America. Callum Smith's been beat this year in America. They weren't just beat, were they? They were beat up, bashed up. How many rounds did we give Sonny and Callum? How many? You know what I mean? So that's 2 bashed up so far this year. Not in the UK. Where's Eddie's billions? $1 billion Eddie. Where is it? Why are these fights not happening in the UK? Got all this money. Is UK boxing done now? Is that it? Are we supposed to just roll over and die? We invented the sport. You know, we invented it. Tony the Bell End. Bellew. He's always there or thereabouts, isn't he? Oh, Tony Macaroni. Hey, Tony, you got greedy, Tony. On TalkSport with Simon Jordan, he said everything by naming him as a drug cheat for Turbia. You don't get any lower than that, does it? So somebody tests, right, as a test and they don't fail, but yet they're showing high levels of testosterone, which you can get from either getting up in the morning or getting a pump on it, gym, right? But all of a sudden they've turned it into like this dirty campaign. No tests have been failed. They've all backtracked, haven't they? Retreat, 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 retreat. Legal action. Shit their pants. That's what's happened. Bad form from Tony. Tony, the paper champion, never beat a champion. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. So, yeah. So we've got Usyk and Fury going to fight, aren't they? But look what else we've got. Joshua and Garno and Zhang and Parker. Old Zhang and Parker, eh? Where does Zhang get his power from? Hey, it's fantastic southpaw, isn't he? He's not a slick southpaw, but where's he get that power from? Big 20 stoner. I'll tell you, it's all that fly rice that he eats. That's where he gets power from. So I've started eating fly rice with my tuna at night instead of jacket tater. Because if it's good enough for Zhang, it's good enough for Big P. Because you know when I grab hold of you, Gad, I'm going to pluck your hair out like a Buxton chicken. Pop, pop, bang. It is what it is, but do I see Zhang beating Parker? I see him writing Parker off. Zhang wrote Joyce off twice, and he wrote Parker off, but Parker come back, didn't he, against what? Against who? A one-trick pony, an old man. I don't see him beating Zhang, so it is what it is. So we've already spoke about that. Will Bricktop and Eddie Hills work together in the UK? Not while they're mopping the Saudi money up. No, they're going to put all their eggs in one basket. Pure greed. Pure greed. Which brings me to, when you're talking about pure greed, Big Joe Egan. Big Joe Egan piping up, wanted to fight John Fury, saying it's his friend and they're warriors and all that. Has anybody ever seen Joe Egan fight? Big Joe Egan. Has anybody seen him fight? Hey. This Mike Tyson story, it's took on a life of its own, hasn't it? The hardest white man to ever spar him. What? I don't believe that for 1 minute. He'll have sparred tougher guys than him. He sparred Glenn McCrory for starters, a world champion. I think Glenn McCrory beat Big Joe Egan, won it. Come on, pop, pop, bang on that one. Hey? But Big Joe, he's like a bit of a storyteller, isn't he, Joe? Bit of a storyteller. And like I said, he's mesmerised Mike Tyson with this story about him sparring him. He's had him forward things in his book and all that. It's utter knackers. I mean, the story's been going on that long. Even Mike Tyson's convinced he sparred him. There's no footage whatsoever. But Steve Lott, Joe, get in touch with me. I can give you Steve Lott's email. You know, Mike Tyson's camp manager for years. Steve Lott, right? And Kevin Rooney, they both agree that every sparring session were filmed from him turning pro. So we must be going to see some sparring footage then. And Mike, Iron Mike, and Joe Egan. Get that footage out, Joe. Come on. Hey? Stop turning into Walter Mitty. Unbelievable. I don't believe it. Let's see some footage. Let's see the... I don't believe... Oh, I mean, I'm told now. So, it is what it is, isn't it? Another thing as well I've noticed, and I've got no time for Bellew, obviously, but I keep noticing that YouTubers are running out of questions to ask Bricktop or Eddie Hills. So, they're asking Eddie and Bricktop, Eddie Hills and Bricktop, about Carl Froch's comments saying it's a cash grab. And some of them, they're asking Bricktop about Froch's comments and Tony Bellew's. Can't you think of what else? Because they get like a 7-second chat at the end of these videos and they're putting it up as clickbait. Pro boxing fans, you should be embarrassed doing things like that. No doubt the Cobra will be pulling you about that, won't he? And Tony Bellew. But listen, they're just looking for clickbait, innit? He said, she said. I don't know, says me. Says me. Oh, I don't know, it is what it is, isn't it? But Roman Fury, he's on undercard, isn't he? Where were Big John Fury? Where were Big John at that presser? Big John Fury, big fighting. He must have been on a 10-kilometre run. Or at home doing a 200-kilo deadlift with his Corey. Must have some Corey on him, Big John. So Roman Fury's managed to get on undercard, eh? But Big John's nowhere to be seen. Is Big John out of the circle? And is Big John colluding with Big Joe Egan to get in the mix? Two liars together, couldn't we? We could have two Walter Mitties going at it, couldn't we? Hey? Oh my God. Let's show these Saudis and these YouTubers what it's all about. Do me a favour. My God. No. Nobody's asked Bricktop, have they? Or Eddie Hills why Big John Fury were not at that presser. There's lad there fighting and he's not there. Why not? Why don't they ask him, say, why weren't you there? Because they daren't, dare they? They want to ask about what's your favourite crisps and what did you think about Carl Froch saying it's a cash grab, and what did you think about Tony Bellew saying that Beterbia's, or alluding to the fact that Beterbia's allegedly a drug cheat. That's what they want to ask. They don't want to say, where's Roman Fury's trainer, Big John Fury, his dad? Nobody's asked, have they? Because they daren't. They don't want to lose access. Cowards! Off with their heads. It is what it is. Eddie Hills has been offered testing. Free testing by Victor Conte to prove that he's clean. Go on, Eddie. Will Eddie take him up on that test? Has Eddie cheated? Does he cheat with bot accounts? Does he tell porkies? Does he rip fighters off with money? You know what I'm on about, Eddie? He'll all come at him, Wash. Nobody's asked why he wasn't there. So, it is what it is, isn't it? Right. Eddie and Ben Shalom are going to be going at it in court soon, aren't they? Eddie and Sky, Eddie Boazzi, all that. They're all going to have to say the bits, aren't they? But it looks like it's going to turn into like a Sky versus DAZN thing, doesn't it? Who would have thought, Eddie, that all that money off Sky all them years, does the dirty on him, has a deal with DAZN, yeah, working with DAZN while they were finishing off his Sky deal. All them years, and now look, just wants to shaft them, doesn't he? But take the money from the darts as well. They want the best of both worlds, don't they? Bop, bop, bang. Why don't you put the darts on DAZN? what I say. So it's looking like they're going to do a Queensbury versus Matchim show out there, isn't it? You know why? Because they don't want to let anybody else have a slice of the cake. They're going to freeze every promoter and every manager out in England. This is why we've got an utter lick feast from people like Sam Jones and other managers. It's a lick feast, isn't it? That's what it's like, an absolute licking feast. Worshipping the Saudis, His Excellency and all that. Listen, and holding hands, the happy clappers. They're the happy clappers, aren't they? Did you see them all clapping? Oh my God, that'll be Eddie. You know that'll be killing you, won't it? That'll be killing Eddie, that to do that. It won't Bricktop, because brass neck on him's unbelievable. I remember when Bricktop was slagging off them Saudi shows when Eddie got in first, slagging off Stubble. But when it turned round and it was on his plate, it was good for Goose and good for Gander, wasn't it, Bricktop? Saudi is great and Stubble was great. What about all them letters and MPs Bricktop were getting involved? Firing all them letters off to MPs and doing sermons on social media, YouTube and that about Stubble. And then look what happened. Jumped in bed with them. Just saying which Saudis. Pound notes. Could you imagine these people as your co-accused in Crown Court? They put you in as look at you. They do a Bertie Smalls. You'd be carted off like that. To basic regime in Belmarsh. But what's going to happen now to UK boxing? What will be left? What is going to be left? Oh, what? What's going to be left? We're going to be picking at the bones, aren't we, by the time this lot's done with this sports washing carry on? Kevin here, it's the same, isn't it? Would you like to send your horse over to Bahrain? We're paying for it. Yes, please. Finishing second of 30 bags and selling his horse. I mean, what next? He's got another one going out there. People are just going to grab it while they can, businessmen, aren't they? I don't agree with it personally. I'm not into horse racing anyway. I think it's a load of old shite. It's a load of people with Range Rovers and barber coats talking bollocks and standing in horse muck, innit? That's what it looks like to me. You know what I mean? I don't think I've ever really enjoyed an horse race that I've watched, unless I have odd bet, but I'm not a big horse racing man. So, I don't know. It is what it is. Look, let me know what you think in the comments section. All right. Big shout out to Raymundo in Hartlepool. Hope you're all right, Raymundo. All right. So, I'm sorry to hear about your dog. So, all right. You take care, Raymundo. One peace out. Thanks for liking and subscribing and leaving a comment. Half a tin of plum tomatoes now and a slice of granary. I am starving. Go on, peace out.